Dan, have you had any jobs?
Yes, I worked at the job. I worked at Parkway Junior High. And my friends that worked at Parkway Junior High. And like Bob, Bobby, Dan Piper, and Max.
And where else have you worked?
I worked at Walmart, Hardee's, Adelos, all stuff.
Yeah. When you're an adult and you're not going to school anymore, do you want to work?
Okay.
And where would you like to work when you're an adult and earn some money?
Let me see. I earned some money by a video store.
Dan can work and can live independently in the community with services, but how many doors will be closed to employees no longer around to break down those barriers? Our family has served as effective advocates for Dan. Many children with whom I have contact do not have the luxury of consistent support. The reality is that while our advocacy has proven successful, we will soon face the private sector where there are no. We have invested in Dan's future. The state of Iowa has invested in Dan's future, and the Ankeny Public School District has made an investment in Dan's future. We feel that he will be denied employment based on disability rather than capability. He has already encountered discrimination with employment. Senators and representatives, are we going to allow this investment of time, energy, and dollars, not to mention Dan's ability and quality of life, to cease when he reaches age 21? Over a decade ago, the United States Congress enacted Public Law 94-142, which guaranteed Dan the right to special education, and 504 to address disabilities in the public sector. It is now time to expand handicapped anti-discrimination to the private sector so that Dan's and our visions for his adult life and the lives of many others can finally become a reality.
Alabama. I'm 14 years old and a 7th grader at the Alabama School for the Deaf and Blind in Talladega, Alabama. Discrimination is a big word, but I can tell you that it is real, and I hope Congress will do something about it. I hope to be the first person in my family to go to college. I am worried, however, that people will treat me differently because I am blind, black, and female. Some people will think that I cannot be a teacher, but I know I can. I don't need sympathy. I don't need prejudice. I do need a fair chance to get a job and live independently. Discrimination against blind and other disabled people must be eliminated, and the Americans with Disabilities Act will help that happen.
But unfortunately, I am one of the lucky ones. Fortunately for me, unfortunately for so many others, I had role models when I was growing up of other people in wheelchairs. I knew you could become successful and be in a wheelchair. I had education and training before I was burned in 1971, and as a result of an insurance settlement was able to start a very successful business, and so that when I was paralyzed in 1975, I had wealth and I had income and I had opportunities already available to me. What about all of those who, because of the absence of transportation or the absence of communication facilities, can't even find the employer or get to the employer to present themselves as a qualified candidate for a job? How do they function in our society? We don't want a handout. We don't want a free ride. We just want to act normal in an amazing situation.
We don't want to be patient anymore. If 36 million Americans would contact their legislative leaders, them the need for this legislation, it would be done. That's a tremendous political force. I'm, as I've said, one of those in the disabled community. I don't think we've done enough of educating my colleagues as to what we want and what we don't want. And that's why I say patience is over with.
We have a long road to go. I'm not going to stand here and kid you that somehow this thing is going to get through right away. There are roadblocks and a lot of problems out there. And so what it's going to take is it's going to take persistence. A lot of persistence on my part, a lot of persistence on your part. You're the ones who can make this bill happen. You've got to connect up with your friends, your families, the different agencies, organizations that you belong to, and you've got to make this your top priority. It's going to be a tough battle. I'm convinced we can do it. The history of the United States has been a constant evolution of opening more doors, of breaking down barriers, of extending basic human rights to more and more people. Sometimes we don't always live up to those words that we have in the Declaration of Independence and in our Bill of Rights. But we constantly try to live up to them. We said that all men, and I'm sure they meant all women too, if they were here today, were created equal. And yet for almost 100 years after, we had slavery. We didn't even get the Civil Rights Act until 1964. Women didn't have the right to vote until what, 1912, wasn't it? 1912, 1913? I should remember that date. And so, but it has been a constant progress towards expanding our concept of basic human rights. But with each one of those hurdles we had to cross, it took a lot of effort, a lot of time. I'm hopeful it won't take that long for this bill. We've laid the groundwork, we've made the initial steps, and now we just need to take that final step of breaking down the final barrier in our country of discrimination. I guess I'm reminded that when I think about how tough it's going to be and how much work it's going to take, I'm reminded of Rosa Parks, who got off that bus in Alabama and said she wasn't going to ride in the back of the bus anymore. And she led the bus boycott, as some of you remember, at least those of you who are as old as I am. And I don't know how long that bus boycott went on, but they all walked to work. They walked to their places of employment, and they walked home, some of them 3, 4, 5 miles a day, rather than take the buses. And after it was all over with, they broke the back of the bus company and were entitled to sit anywhere they wanted to on the bus. When it was all over with, someone asked Rosa Parks how she felt. She said, well, she said, it's been a long, tough battle, but my feet are tired, but my soul is at rest. Let us work hard so that when we finally win this battle, we can all say together, and paraphrase Rosa Parks, our bodies are tired, but our souls at rest. Thank you.